Destined for greatness. 5. Stoic principles to transform your life. Have you ever wondered why some people rise above challenges and achieve greatness while others remain stuck in the same place? What if the difference isn't luck, but a set of timeless principles? What if the true path to greatness isn't hidden in talent or circumstances, but in mastering a few powerful disciplines that anyone can access? Imagine living each day with the quiet confidence that you are steadily building a life of purpose, resilience, and deep satisfaction. Let's uncover the blueprint that has guided the wisest minds for centuries. What is the secret to greatness? I can tell you what it's not. It's not doing nothing. It's not waiting around for a lottery ticket. It's definitely not blaming the world. When blaming the world won't change anything. So what is it? We're going to explain that secret in this video in 5 steps that you can follow right at home. But we didn't discover this 2,000 years ago. The Stoics did what they invented and developed was so powerful that it made believers of people as different as Roman emperors and slaves. The world may have changed since then, but the psychological truths that push people to greatness have not. Now I can't tell you what it takes to achieve greatness in 30 seconds. That's what this video is for, but I can give you a summary of what they found. Our power doesn't in controlling the things that happen. It can't, because we can't. Our power lies in mastering our response to the things that happen to us and those circumstances that we can change. And if you can learn to do that, you have solved the problem. Greatness is yours, but not me. It won't work for me. I can hear some of you saying things never work out for me. My situation is different. I'm here to tell you that it will work for you if you try. I'm going to give you a plan that will get you there, and here it is in outline form. First, you must focus. Second, you must change your thoughts to change your reality. Third, you must work to achieve a flow state in your life. Fourth, you must act according to your values. And fifth, you must make the world your enana. The most important of these is the first one. Focus. Above all and above everything else, you must focus. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said to be everywhere is to be nowhere. What this means is that when we spread our attention across too many things simultaneously, we aren't present or effective with any of them. Seneca is warning us that multitasking and constant distraction prevent deep engagement. It was true in his time, and it's true in ours in modern life. When our attention jumps between emails, social media, work tasks, and conversations, we experience only the surface of each, without making a meaningful impact. True effectiveness comes from being fully present with one thing at a time. A mind that tries to be everywhere, attending to many tasks at once, ends up being nowhere, not fully engaged with anything. This connects with modern research showing that multitasking reduces cognitive performance and depth of thought. Seneca, in other words, recognized that scattered attention leads to scattered results. You may appear busy, but you accomplish little of significance, and what matters in the world we live in is results. The Stoic approach values depth over breadth, because that's what gets results. Computer science professor Cal Newport calls the ability to focus without distraction deep work, defining it as professional activities performed in a state of distraction, free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. This modern concept mirrors what the Stoics practiced as mental discipline. While Newport's research demonstrates that deep work is profitable in today's economy, the Stoics would argue it's always been essential for a well-lived life. The evidence against multitasking keeps building. Research from Stanford University shows that heavy multitaskers perform worse on cognitive control tests, Test S, and struggle more with relevant information filtering each time we switch tasks. We pay what Newport calls an attention residue tax, up to 40% of our productive capacity lost in transitions, so it follows that if you stay focused, you'll be up to 40% more effective. How can we reclaim our focus in a world designed to fragment it? Here are practical techniques you can follow to do deep work. Begin with morning intention setting a practice. Marcus Aurelius followed religiously before emails and notifications decide what deserves your deepest attention today. Next, create distraction-free environments by eliminating what Newport calls the shallow work triggers. You can silence notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and establish boundaries before you begin to save time. Finally, practice mindful transitions between activities, rather than immediately jumping between tasks. Pause briefly to reset your attention, what Epictetus might call preparing the mind for the work at hand. By preparing yourself in this way, you'll set yourself up for success. True greatness in work and character emerges from the discipline of focused attention, but focus alone isn't enough. Once you've mastered your attention, you must direct it toward the right thoughts. This brings us to our second principle, changing your thoughts to change your reality. The Stoics understood that our perceptions shape our experience more profoundly than external circumstances, as Marcus Aurelius wrote. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This insight that we can transform our reality by transforming our thinking forms the foundation of what we call cognitive behavioral stoicism, the deliberate practice of regulating your thoughts to improve your life. The practice is straightforward whenever you enter a thought spiral. Apply the Stoic test. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, practice acceptance. If it's yes, channel your energy toward constructive action instead of rumination. There's a modern psychological technique with a similar orientation called CBT, short for cognitive behavioral therapy. It's a psychotherapy approach that focuses on identifying and changing unhelpful thinking patterns and behaviors. The premise of CBT is that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected, meaning that negative patterns in any of these areas can create and maintain psychological distress. To fix ourselves we must fix those patterns by focusing on those. CBT helps people develop more helpful ways of thinking and behaving. Here's an example. When something bad happens, most people fall into destructive thought patterns. This always happens to me, everything is ruined, or I can't handle this. The Stoics recognize these as false impressions, judgments that we add to neutral events. If we add them, that means we can also stop adding them. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you but how you respond to it that matters. Consider how differently your day unfolds when you view challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. This creates a feedback loop of empowerment. When you reframe negative thoughts, your emotional responses shift, your actions become more effective, and your outcomes improve. Modern cognitive behavioral Stoics has rediscovered what the Stoics knew. We can question our automatic thoughts and more willingly choose a more rational interpretations. When we do this, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and expand our potential. When we are at our maximum potential, we tend to be in a state of flow, and that's our third principle, creating the conditions for us to achieve that flow state. The Stoics understood that true productivity comes from deep and purposeful engagement. This ancient wisdom is backed up. Psychologist Miley Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow, that optimal state where we're so immersed in a challenging activity that time seems to disappear. Flow represents the perfect balance between skill and challenge. When a task is too difficult, we feel anxiety. When it's too easy, we experience boredom. But in that sweet spot where our abilities are stretched but not overwhelmed, we achieve a state the Stoics would recognize as ideal functioning. Seneca's advice to be present where you are anticipates Csikszentmihalyi's research by millennia. Both recognize that divided attention prevents the deep engagement necessary for excellence. Modern research confirms this old insight. Flow states correlate with peak performance in everything from athletics to artistic creation. The Stoic discipline of focusing solely on what's in your control is echoed by a flow prerequisite. Clear goals with immediate feedback by eliminating distractions. We create the conditions for flow to emerge. Epictetus taught that we should approach each task as if it were our last, bringing full attention to the present moment. This Stoic principle of mindful presence is exactly what Csikszentmihalyi observed in people experiencing flow, complete absorption in the activity itself. Not the results. To cultivate flow in your life, start by identifying your flow triggers, those activities where you lose track of time. Structure your environment to eliminate distraction is during these periods. Set clear goals with measurable progress markers. Practice the Stoic technique of premeditatio malum, or anticipating challenges to prepare for potential obstacles before you begin. The Stoics knew that meaningful accomplishment comes not from scattered effort, but from focused mastery in flow theory. We find scientific validation of this ancient idea. Our greatest satisfaction comes when we are fully engaged in meaningful challenges that stretch our capabilities. But what should guide these challenges? What direction should our focused energy take? This brings us to our fourth principle. You must act according to your values. The Stoics believed that true greatness arises from how we live our lives. This is the essence of values-based living, aligning your actions with your highest principles. No matter the circumstances, what matters most is how well you walk through the fire. As the writer Charles Bukowski put it, fortune is fickle but character is enduring. When you act according to your values, rather than impulse or external pressure, you build an unshakable foundation. At the heart of Stoic ethics are the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom means practical judgment, knowing what to do, when to do it, and why it matters. It's distinguishing between what you can and cannot control, then focusing your energy accordingly. Wisdom is learning from every experience, especially failures, which the Stoics saw as powerful teachers. Courage means facing challenges without being paralyzed by fear. Not fearlessness, but acting despite fear, when values demand it. As Seneca noted, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. This virtue enables you to bear hardship and to speak the truth, even when silence would be easier. Justice extends beyond legality to treating others with fairness and respect. It recognizes our shared humanity and responsibilities to one another. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this interconnection. What benefits? The hive benefits the bee. Justice is seeing that your well-being is shared with others. Temperance is balanced self-discipline, not indulgence, but also not denial. It means moderation. It's mastering your desires rather than being mastered by them. Temperance creates the space between stimulus and response where wisdom can breathe. The path to greatness requires more than good intentions. It demands that your actions consistently reflect your values, especially when doing so is difficult. As Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. This brings us to our fifth and final principle. You must make the world your arena. Making the world your arena means transforming everyday environments into spaces of practice and growth where you can succeed. And to do that, before you can do anything else, you must first get out there. You must go into the world and try. That's the idea behind the do things badly principle. It cures perfectionism, paralysis. Begin by giving yourself permission to perform poorly. Write the terrible first draft. Have the awkward conversation attempt. The imperfect workout. Excellence emerges not from planning but from iteration. As writer Anne Lamont advocates, almost all good writing begins with terrible first efforts. It's a universal principle. You begin badly, then get better. If it helps, you can use a strategy we call if-then statements rather than I'll Exercise more. Commit to when I wake up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll put on my running shoes and jog for 20 minutes. Research by psychologist Peter Gollwitzer shows this approach dramatically increases follow-through by linking specific situations to the behaviors you want to see if you need more help. Consider using the 5-minute rule. Commit to just 5 minutes of the challenging activity. A minimal commitment bypasses psychological resistance and helps get you started. Once begun, continuation becomes easier thanks to your momentum. 5 minutes often becomes a full session of your intended activity. When you put all these strategies together, you end up establishing practical approaches as habit go outside your designated spaces to make the entire world the place where you practice that. How you get started on the path to greatness. At the top of this video, we began by asking what the secret to greatness is. Now, you know. It's not some mysterious formula reserved for the lucky few. It's a practical, proven path anyone can follow. Let these 5 Stoic principles: focus, thought management, flow, values-based action, and making the world your arena, be your framework for transformation, for stepping into greatness. When you master your focus, you gain the ability to direct your attention where it matters most by changing your thoughts. You reshape your reality through flow. You tap into your highest potential by acting according to your values. You build unshakable character, and by making the world your arena, you turn philosophy into practice, creating meaningful change in your life and the lives of others. Remember that greatness isn't about perfection, it's about progression. The Stoics understood that. We're all works in progress. Every day presents new opportunities to apply these principles, to stumble, to learn, and to grow stronger throughout the process. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. So begin today. Start badly if you must, but start. Focus your attention on what truly matters. Challenge your limiting thoughts, find your flow, live your values, and make every environment you move through an arena for practicing these timeless principles. The path to greatness lies before you. Now it's your turn to take that first step. If you wouldn't mind, please drop a comment below about your own experience. With these techniques and with Stoicism in general, your story might be exactly what another person needs to hear to start their own journey towards Stoic wisdom. Remember, like Epictetus, you have the power to transform any circumstance into an opportunity for growth, whether you're mastering your focus, changing your thoughts, finding your flow state, following your values, or making the world your arena. Every moment is a chance to strengthen your Stoic mindset. Finally, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos about transforming life's challenges into fuel for growth. Until next time, keep advancing on the path to greatness, one Stoic technique at a time. Conclusion. Greatness isn't a prize reserved for a lucky few. It's the natural result of living intentionally, courageously, and wisely. When you focus deeply, master your thoughts, enter states of flow, align your actions with your values, and bravely step into life's arena, you transform not only your circumstances, but your very character. The Stoic principles you've learned are not distant ideals. They are daily practices, patiently forged, day by day, choice by choice. Begin where you are. Advance one step at a time. And know this: every moment you live these principles, you are already destined for greatness.